Live on the internet at mybaltimorespirit.com, a Radio 1 station.
The following is a paid program. The views and opinions expressed are those of the program sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Spirit 1400 and its management.
Hey, Wayne.
What it do, Pat?
Man, Frederick Douglass said that it is easier to mold children than it is to fix broken men.
That's right, but we still gotta get our family straight.
You're right about that, man. Everybody deserves a second chance. So welcome. You're listening to Patrick Henderson, Meet the People, with my co-host,
Wayne O'Mara,
Lamitra Henderson Parker,
and Desi Alexander.
Whoa, put them seatbelts on,
cause we ready to roll, baby.
Patrick Henderson meets the people and sit back and enjoy the show. Cause when the people all come together, there's no stopping us, you all. Well, you already know what it is. It's Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Well, hello, Baltimore. I hope y'all are enjoying this beautiful day out there. It's just simply gorgeous. Considering the state of the union right now, I tell you what, sometimes all we got to do is just to survive, is just to thank God for a beautiful day and find a way to love one another. Yeah. When we feel the energies and the forces coming against us as a people, and certainly the forces are coming against us as a people in this nation, the black and brown people in this country, you need to be on guard. You need to be on the tips of your toes with this president that we have, because the man has shown that he has no moral compass. Now, I was thinking about that word coming here. First of all, let me say hello to my co-host, Desi Alexander. How are you?
Greetings, Evans. I'm excited, man. I'm happy to be here, man.
You guys say you're excited about me. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Good afternoon, family. Praise God. Praise God.
Praise God. That's all he can say right now, because we got a hot show. Y'all not going to believe some of the things we're going to talk about today. But before we do that and introduce our special guest, I would like for you got a couple of young fellas and young ladies with you.
I normally, I'll have the boys, but this time I got a little young lady.
Yeah.
And we're going to introduce her. This is young Madison. How you doing, Madison?
Good.
Good. Okay.
How old are you, Madison?
8.
Hey, do you know you're named after a president?
No.
You didn't know that? What was his name? James Madison?
That's right.
Yeah, what was he, the third or fourth president of the United States?
The third president.
Third president. Well, you know, Madison, they didn't used to give girls names after boys, but now they name them girls Taylor. They're giving them, so we're happy to have you here, Madison. How old did you say you were?
8.
How old would you want to be when you grow up? Have you thought about it?
No.
You got some pretty hair. Who did your hair?
My mom.
Your mom? Oh, girl, you got a beautician in the house. I know you have it, so your hair is always right, huh? Well, how fortunate you are. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I'm glad to be here today.
We're happy to have you. You have brothers and sisters?
Yes.
How many brothers and sisters? 2 brothers, 2 sisters. What? I hit it right on the first time?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we're happy to have you here, Madison. And
we also got my young boy. He's feeling kind of under the weather, feeling kind of down today. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but I'm excited to have him here. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for young DJ.
Hey, DJ.
How you doing?
Hi, DJ. How you feeling? You not feeling too cool? You a little upset about something?
No, fun. Just that something was on my mind.
Oh. Well, is there anything you can do about it right now?
No, not really.
I know. So we're going to leave that out the door. And we're going to enjoy this moment we got together. We're happy to have you. He's smiling. Come on, give me that smile. Give it up. Give it up. Look at the big eyes looking over at me. I know if you can't do nothing about it, don't make no sense to worry about it. I've learned. I'm 68 years old, and I learned that if I worry about it and I can't do nothing about it, it just makes me ill. And ain't nobody got time to be sick. Okay? Enjoy feeling good. Find a way to feel good through it all. Thank you all. And Desi, you know we always appreciate you bringing them in and letting them see another side of the world. And this is a big world. Y'all talking to the whole world. Did you know that? Can't nobody never tell you no more. You haven't talked to nobody before. Yes, I did too. I did a radio show, and I talked to, 100,000 people at 1,000. So we're happy to have you all here. Jason, there's a lot going on in the city. I want to talk about the national, but we only have a few minutes here, as you all know, here on Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on Sundays. But Jason, I'll introduce our special guest, and you bring us up to snuff about what's going on within the city limits.
Well, family, we have a special guest this afternoon. Where Bishop
Barry Chapman.
Chapman, Bishop Chapman, representing ASME, correct?
Yeah, I represent
Which
the
local?
Maryland State Court Employees Union, ASME Local 3674, the Circuit Court for Baltimore City.
All right, and family,
and District Court. It's a statewide local.
Right. And family, this is about our court system in Baltimore. We're going to get into a quick discussion this afternoon about our court, the conditions of our workers, the quality of the work environment for our workers. So, Bishop, if you could just please.
Yes, I'd like to begin with, I don't know whether you all have recognized what's been going on in the courthouse.
No, we haven't heard about it.
Well, I'm going to step back and then come forward.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember there was a pigeon problem down at the Circuit Court of Baltimore City when O'Malley was the mayor, where the pigeon poop was going through the air-conditioned system and it was making employees sick. So that took about $500,000 to get corrected. Once that got corrected, we actually had a report on the conditions of the courthouse. So when Frank Conaway came in, he helped us go through the report and helped us correct a lot of the major things that were going on. Since Frank Conaway passed away, he had his deputy replace him, and then she passed away, and then another deputy replaced her. So at that point, the whole scenario became a hostile work environment where employees come to work every day making allegations that they're working in a hostile work environment and that they can't get their work done because of the hostile work environment. So we filed several grievances. One grievance is still pending on a termination that's now sitting in the Maryland State Human Relations Commission, where a young lady was terminated because she had a altercation with a boyfriend off work site, and they said that she didn't report it to HR that it happened off work site.
Did she have to?
Well, no, they really didn't have a hard and fast rule policy about it. But they kind of make up policies as they go along. So they terminated her. So we're filing that. That's already filed at the Maryland Human Relations Commission, and we're waiting for the outcome of that. And depending on what the outcome of that is, then we'll start speaking about litigation.
Well, but the big one right now is, thank you for giving us that brief history about the origins of this, I'm going to call it malaise, y'all. Malaise means sickness, okay, about what's going on down there. We're understanding, and my understanding is that there's a bed bug problem down there, and that they are saying that you guys, the employees, are bringing the bed bugs into the city hall.
Yeah, well, let me back up a little bit again and come forward. When Frank Conaway was alive, we sat down. We used to have regular labor management meetings. So we informed him that they were having bed bugs. So he brought in his management staff to start figuring out who was in charge of the pest control for the building. Well, it turns out that the state wasn't in control of the building. The building was actually controlled by the city. So the city has to put out on city bid for the housekeeping and the pest control. But then he passed away.
Wow.
So we really would have got it straightened had he just still been alive. So then a little ways after he passed away, his deputy passed away.
What?
And so we then got a new deputy.
Love, were these octogenarians?
I don't know what was going on. All I was doing was watching the movie, saying what world's going on.
Oh, wow.
But then, so we've been dealing with a bed bug problem. If you Google WBAL TV bed bug court protest, you can see that back in September of last year, we got into a battle with them over the fact that they're saying that they're going to blame the employees for bringing the bed bugs into the courthouse, where they don't know where the origin was. I told them that I got some reports because I have a company that does pest control. I'm telling them, no, my customers are telling me it's in the jury room. So y'all need to send whoever has the contract in the jury room, and you need to spray the whole building at night. Whatever it costs, people have a right to work in a healthy and safe environment.
Yes, sir.
Of course, that didn't go very far. So now they have a policy that we're about to file a grievance about concerning the bed bug policy. Says that if they suspect that an employee brought the bed bugs in, they automatically put them on a 15-day administrative leave, and after that they're on their own leave, and then they have to pay the cost of have a pest control company come in and certify their house that is free of bed bugs before they can come back to work.
And never proven that the bed bugs started to come in or being brought in with them.
And all this money is sliding south.
What?
Yeah, so Pat Kelly is the president of the local, and her and I are going to meet later on this evening. We're going to start expediting these grievances. And in the criminal division, you know, the employees are making allegations that they're being harassed by other co-workers in the division. So we're about to pour gasoline on and set them on fire, since they can't understand that people have a right to come to a workplace that's healthy and safe and free from harassment, and they didn't sign up for them when they asked for a job.
Don't you find this a little bit incredulous, though? A little bit just unbelievable, and that they seem to be looking for a scapegoat? Well, is it that they don't like you all? They want to fire you all? What is the problem?
I just think that.
Who are the powers that be that are behind this?
Well, the current clerk, her name is Marilyn Bentley. She was when Frank Conaway passed, Lavinia Alexander succeeded him, and then Marilyn Bentley succeeded her because she was her deputy. So at this point, it all falls on her. See, you either with the people or you're not with the people. You got to pick a team.
Right.
But if you don't pick a team and you have all this stuff swirling around, then guess what? It's still going to lay at your doorstep.
Right.
So is she at the head of this subjectivity that you're talking about? Is she the one that's determining who gets picked out for bed bug inspection and has to go through these?
Well, let me explain it. So she's the clerk of the court. Okay. Now they have a judge that's the administrative judge, which is Michael Pearson. He's the administrative judge. He has to interact with the city of Baltimore, whoever they send for pest control and janitorial, to rid the courthouse of the bed bugs or cleaning issues. They don't clean very well either. The employees complain they got to come to work and clean up too.
Wow.
Okay. Very, very, very rarely the trash is being put out.
Really? You taking pictures of these things, documenting?
We documenting. And our thing is this, is that we're not concerned about whether we're going to get somebody on our side. There's a couple of ways we can do this. We can go through the grievance procedure. In Maryland, there's a rule that says that you have 3 years to get something in the court in civil litigation. You also have a right to file something in the federal court concerning a lot of this stuff. So we're going to use the most expedient method. We're not going to be waiting in line to hear our case. So that means we got to take the case to the street. We're going to march around that courthouse until somebody say, let's sit down and see how we can fix this. But the other part of fixing it is that the legislature appropriates money to fund the operations of the court. So we're going to lay it at the chief judge of Maryland's desk too, and say, okay, you in charge of the courts. Now we know that Marilyn Bentley not your subordinate because they have to run for election. But guess what? You can give money and hold money. And that usually activates people.
Yes.
That's all we're saying. If you got power, show us.
How degrading and how humiliating must it be for them to suggest all these years? How long have you worked at the City Hall?
Well, I haven't worked there. I'm the executive director of the Maryland State Court Employees. Pat Kelly is the president. She actually works there. She's been there at least over 25, 30 years. She was a court clerk. And then when Frank Conaway came in several years down the road, he made her the manager of all the court clerks.
Okay.
And he gave the union an office inside of the Mitchell Courthouse, which is Courthouse West.
Well, is this the first time this bed bug issue has come up?
No, it's not the first time it come up, but they keep. Well, let me tell you what they did. Like I said, if you Google WBAL TV bed bug courthouse protest, they sent an orc in that day. Okay, so Lisa Robinson came down. We had a little shout match out in front of the courthouse. The employees was going to come out and protest the bed bugs, but they threatened employees if they came out, they was going to fire them. So they went back in, and I said, well, they can't fire me. And I'm going to stand here until the cows come home. And till the media show up, and then we got into it. So now we're at a point where the bed bugs are persisting, and now they're in the court clerk's office on the first floor in Mitchell Courthouse. because they originated originated upstairs in the criminal division where they finding bed bugs and files.
What?
Now, but they're spinning the story saying it's the employees. Well, hold on. Okay, you can't prove that the bed bug hitchhiked from the employee's house on them and came into the building. You can't just be talking smack. You gotta prove what you're saying. You gotta qualify your remarks. You just can't be speaking about it. Where's the proof?
So it's the employees that got a little Ziploc bag.
Yeah,
they're bringing in.
Oh, let me tell you, I had a grievance case coming up. It was about a year ago. A lady in the courthouse found a bed bug near her desk. She put it in a baggie. She took it across the street to the clerk's office. How about they gave her 3 days? They what? They gave her 3 days off for taking the bed bug in a baggie.
As a penalty?
Here's the proof that there's a bed bug.
And they penalized her?
They gave her 3 days. So
they gave her 3 days off.
They had 3 days suspension.
Okay.
So now Lavinia Alexander was the clerk. She was alive. She was the person that succeeded Frank Conaway. So I go talk to her and I said, "Do you really want to do this? I mean, you already suspended, but do you want to have a grievance about this?" So she said, "Well, okay, I can see your point, and no, we're going to rescind the 3 days." So they gave her the 3 days back, but the other stuff just kept persisting, and it has persisted. So we call it in motion now. We say, okay, where's the Maryland Occupation Safety and Healthy people? It's a unsafe and unhealthy environment. So we got them in there trying to make a decision. Are they going to charge, but that's a state agency, are they going to charge a state agency charge another state agency with the fact that the environment is not healthy and safe? So then we into that struggle. Sooner or later we're going to have to take a step further and go and bring the feds and say, come in here and look at this, because they can't seem to make up their mind, or they in cahoots.
Why is this happening?
It's happening because people are so bent on being managers and not dealing with the fact that they dealing with people's human lives. So I think it's some egos. I'm the boss. You shut up and go do what I tell you to do. And it's a mirage. That's what's happening. Nobody's really experiencing what you're talking about. Except, I wish the lady would have had a bunch of bed bugs and had about 100 of them and left them over there. Maybe we would have been running them out of there and they would have understood what was going on.
Wait a minute. So Baltimore just has recently, Baltimore has just been like what for the last couple of years been having this thing.
God.
But the East Coast has been inundated with bed bugs, and I'm just shocked because I thought they had to be in a bed. That mean they can hide anywhere and come and get your butt anywhere.
They can be anywhere.
They can be anywhere.
Anywhere.
They can be anywhere, Pastor.
Hi, Mitra. I didn't know you were there.
Yeah.
What?
Did you know that the office downtown State Highways Administration, they had them in their building. That's downtown. That's not too far from the courthouse. State Highways Administrator. That's an administrative office where they don't interact with a lot of people. But it was in there. So that's an instance where somebody could have hitchhiked from home to back into the workplace.
Correct.
Right. But if they're in your house, they're in your house. So what is it? But you say they're thinking that they emanated, and emanated means they appeared in the jury rooms. So somebody had it in their purse, set it down, and the bug said, I got a new home.
It could be right on your jacket if it's clear. When they hatch, they clear. It could blend, and we not even see it. Now, if you go around in the dark, if you get it like a blue light, you can run around look at services.
A black light or something.
You can do services, but you'll know when you got big bugs because they come in, they bite you 3 times, and then they ingest the blood, then they turn the color where you can see them.
Wow.
So I mean, but if you get them, you don't want them. It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
And it can be expensive. It's like paying a mortgage.
It's not dead to try to get rid of them?
Well, you can get rid of them. The problem is that when they get into the house, you got cracks and crevices around every room. If they go into the walls, they can still lay dormant for about a year. So you can get rid of them temporarily. You can go in, you can take all your fabric, run it through dryers, kill whatever you can't see or whatever you can see. And you can cover your beds and stuff like that so that you don't be buying new mattresses and box springs.
Nah.
But
when you get bed bugs, you got to
hopefully-
get rid of mattresses and so.
you sure? I'm telling you, you got to do
get rid
something.
of 'em.
You got to throw every. It's like getting a brand new house.
Mitra,
thing in Baltimore.
Huh?
what, down home they didn't call them bed, but they
They
call
put them
them.
outside. They call them
chinches.
They call them chinches. I knew. I'm trying to figure out that they call them chinches.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You know, we all find a name for them,
Right,
chinches,
right.
but they was bed bugs.
Right.
But they're not
They
poison.
don't like heat. They don't like heat, or they don't like light.
Right.
They don't like heat.
And they don't like.
Yeah, they don't
light.
like heat. Yeah.
They vampires.
So how do they get it? Why do they come? How long have they been there, sir? How long have they
Well,
been there?
in the circuit court, it's been there a couple of years.
So they didn't survive through a winter?
Oh, they survived.
Oh, yeah.
Winters.
So all they had to do was turn the heat off
but
and
the
they would have
courthouse-
killed them?
Yeah.
But the courthouse
Duh.
is not in a good condition, though.
Anyway.
it's in a condition that would kind
It's so
of
old.
create that environment or,
Yes.
or keep that conditions in those environments. It's
Exactly.
damp, it's moist. They constantly have floods. They constantly have
They had a fire.
mold,
But not
a
just
fire.
that, not just
You know
that,
what I mean?
family. But we gotta think across this city. Most of the homes, most of the churches, most of the businesses that have those kinds of conditions, you know what I mean, provide the perfect circumstances for these type of
Yeah,
for this type of
environment
living.
for it.
It's the perfect storm.
Perfect storm for
So you get around to the city now, and it's like they just don't want to pay. Everybody's just looking at it as a job when people are being affected by this.
Exactly.
How will they get rid of them? They have to tent the whole building or
Well,
something?
what they would have to do is that they would have to constantly not only treat but monitor. You just can't come in and treat with the chemical. You got to treat and monitor, and nobody's going through at night treating when nobody's in the building.
Right.
So at some point, this is going to cost money, and money's going to have to be allocated to a budget to correct that problem. So they're coming and treating when they call and they have a situation. So that's putting a Band-Aid on a problem.
Wait a minute, I got to ask you. Did they get to the mayor's office yet?
No, but I know some workers down in that municipal building down there where you pay the water bill. Oh, they told me they got to be bad.
Of course they do.
I said,
These
why?
big old.
They said, we
Wonder
got
why,
it.
wonder why they not in the mayor's office yet.
Yeah, I don't know why they ain't there yet. Probably
treating
they
at
headed
night.
that direction. That's right around the corner.
The insects, of course they're there. They're just not going to say they are. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just being down there on the ground all this week, man. You see all of the issues that people were just covered with. So that's an everyday thing. The bed bugs, we talking about cockroach infestations, and you know what I mean?
It's tough. Okay, and I have my phone ringing all the time. I understand. I was down there day before yesterday, up in the criminal division, and employee was saying that she was going through some work, some co-workers harassing her. So I went to see the manager, but the manager was on vacation. And I said, well, also what's going on with the bed bugs? They said, we still got bed bugs. I said, well, how often is Orkin or whoever's supposed to be coming in here coming in? They said, well, we see them when they call.
There's not a
But I said, is anybody monitoring it? They said, well, they're saying that they have a monitoring program. I said, but you all are here.
Right.
Are you documenting when they come in and when they're not coming in? When you're calling that you're saying that you got bed bugs and they starting to bite y'all. They're saying, okay, we're going to begin to document. I said, you got to do that.
Yes.
You just when you throw the first ball out the cannon yard and pitch that thing, you got to say, this is what happened from the time we started to the time we left work, and this was started when we got back to work again.
Are you the only voice yet union that is for helping to work with the people that work there, or are there other people, we
Other
got
advocacies, other
advocacy.
Yeah, we got a hold of Glenn Middleton, which is he's the executive director of Council 67, and him and I and Ms. Kelly met with Lavinia Alexander prior to her passing, but he's on board also with helping us eradicate this problem, and now we're ready to also get in touch with Patrick Moran, who is the president of ASME Council 3. Glenn Middleton is the executive director of Council 67. He's the president of Council 3, which is the court workers are under. So we're starting a broad coalition to bring in all of the union people around, even Baltimore Metro Council. And if they want to start fight with some union people, Well, just tell us where the fight is. We'll be right over.
Would the solution possibly be a new courthouse? I mean, isn't that one of the main proposals that we've been talking about and fighting for?
I'm glad you asked that question, Jason. There was a report, a grand jury report some years ago, and that was in the workplace study that we did, that the grand jury report said that building should be a museum. Okay, you can look it up. You can Google it after we had a discussion. A grand jury report for the Circuit Court of Baltimore City. The report said that it should be a museum. They should have been closed it. Now, if you look at most of the courthouses around this state, let's pick Annapolis as a perfect example. They're on Road Boulevard. Walking there look like the Taj Mahal when you walk in there. We got Wabash up there in northwest Baltimore. Yes. All these little courthouses that they refuse to deal with in the centralized Baltimore City. The courthouse at Gay Street looked like a museum too. Right there at Fair at Gay Street. They should knock that building down. So what they spending the money on, they can't fix the building.
Well, especially considering there's a big piece of property right across the street that they could just put the new courthouse there and tear that one down. We only have 5 minutes. I find this totally fascinating that we are here in this modern city and that you have a building that a grand jury has said should either be made a museum or torn down because it's so old it is not worth repairing. Is that the correct understanding?
And the gentleman he hit the point. They are creating the circumstances for this to exist.
Right.
If the building is old and antiquated, you know if the building sits on a foundation that the insects and the rats and everything is coming up in that building
for hundreds of years.
It's a maternity ward in the walls.
I mean,
and they can't get to them because it's not created to get to them without destroying the wall.
Exactly.
State's attorney been moved out of that office.
Yes. We had that fight.
Flooded and inundated all the time.
Bernstein was the state's attorney when that happened. The legislature gave them $10 million to move the state's attorney's personnel out of that building and left employees there to suffer.
Is not
I said it.
There is a hazard thing with the federal government where if people are subjected to hazardous environment working for them, you have a right to sue.
Yeah, we got a right to sue. That's what I'm saying. All of this trying to get them to go along. We got to bring in a big stick at this point. We got to say these are not only Baltimore City residents. These are not only Maryland citizens. These are employees. And these are citizens of the United States of America. When is somebody going to come down there and throw them a life raft?
Right. And hold these folks accountable.
And say, what are y'all doing? Y'all can't let them work like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This the working and living conditions in this city is just
horrendous.
Yeah.
This is amazing, and I tell you, I just can't imagine. So the people going home, they don't know if they're carrying bed bugs home with them. Sitting in their seats and squirming. Well, I tell you, does off work? If you spray it in your environment, it all on you, would off keep them from getting on you?
Well,
I'm sorry.
You got some remedies. I mean, you can use concentrated alcohol to use as a repellent.
Okay.
But if you still going back and forth, you still got the scenario of.
Yeah, you can get you some boric acid and get rid of.
That's what I was thinking too. Boric acid.
Boric acid does get rid of.
But let me tell you something though, bro. I mean, for them, it's like this all around the board. Because, just like we talk about the lead issue, if you're working in these buildings, you know what I mean, you still have to deal with lead because it's in the building, it's in the pipes, regardless. You go into the restroom to wash your hands, you're sitting on the toilet. Sure. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just about just sticking a little Deer Park water fountain in the corner. You know what I'm saying? All these buildings need to be completely rehabbed. Some of them is 18th century, All
right, we with you. Wayno?
Yes, sir, big brother.
I want to tell you, I love you.
Same here, brother. You
happy birthday.
Oh, man. Happy
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Tomorrow's your birthday.
Yes.
And I don't know what the family got planned, but I just want you to know, man, I'm happy today that God brought you into my life. It has not been the same since I known Wayno Amon Ra, Dwayne Alexander. You and Desilu Alexander. It has not been the same. And I wanted to make sure that we let everybody know that tomorrow's your birthday. How old you be?
Be 38, man.
Almost 40 years old.
Yeah,
Lord, when I met you, you was just a young'un, wasn't you?
Yeah.
Well, here
He's
you
still
are.
a young'un.
He's still a young'un. I know, and more feistier than ever. We want to say from Patrick Henderson's Meet the People, from Unification Solutions, from Majority League, and from Radio 1. Yeah, I'm going to speak for Radio 1. Happy birthday to you, man, and ask God to just continue to bless you and increase your territory, to bless your family, to bless all that your hands do, because you are making a difference in people's lives. We just want you to know, happy birthday. And I don't know where the celebration is going to be.
I just say for everybody listening, there are a lot of homeless people living downtown Baltimore. We hashtag the tent city, and these abused women, raped, molested people. You know what I mean? I just ask that if you really got true love for me, go and support them. Donate something to those folks that are down there in front of City Hall. Thank you, family.
Thank you, and thank you again.
And the Facebook family is going crazy right now, sending you happy birthday wishes.
Oh, man. Thank y'all.
We forgot to tell y'all we on Facebook, but if you want this Patrick Henderson on Sunday and Monday, we on Facebook on my page. Well, we got to go now, sir. Thank you so much, Bishop, for coming in. And I want y'all to know, y'all know I like to dress, but this brother got it hooked up with his silvers and his grays and his shocking pinks.
I like to see your wardrobe too.
Well,
you got some stuff hooked up too.
Well, you know, we both got reasons for doing it, but we thank God for that. We want to look good, and it makes us feel good, and we're thankful for you all. Whether you look good or you don't feel like you look good, you still look good to us because you're our fellow human beings, and we love you from the bottom of our hearts. Be sure to join us tomorrow. We got a hot show, Jason, real quick. Who we got on tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to have Mr. Bose, Tyrone Bose. We're going to talk about the dollar housing. Hopefully we'll be joined by Councilwoman Mary Pat Clark, who introduced the bill.
Yes, y'all want to get in on this and start getting your dollars together. Because we're trying to get a 1% interest rate loan so you can get these houses and fix them up. Okay.
And they have a plan. So they're going to come on and talk about the plan. So they actually have a plan for redevelopment in the neighborhoods that includes that dollar home.
We got to go. God bless you. See you tomorrow. And hear you tomorrow at 11:30 on WLB 1010. You've been listening to Patrick Henderson on Spirit 1400. God bless you. Have a great week. We'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget about the show.
And our hearts and prayers goes out to Baba Dick Gregory's passing.
Oh, man. Yes. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yes, family.
WWIN Baltimore, WWIN HD Baltimore.
On the web at spirit1400.com.
Spirit 1400, the spirit of today's gospel.
The spirit of today's gospel.
A Sunday full of inspiration with Fred Hammond.
Here we are. Let's get on one accord. Leave all your problems on the outside.
Willie Moore Jr., the Williams Brothers.
And it felt like cooling water.
Jacqueline Carr, and more. Spend your Labor Day weekend enjoying live concerts from your favorite music acts, a stay at a 4-star luxury resort, and the chance to ride Universal Studios' newest attraction. Join us at the 2017 All-State Family Reunion at the Gaylord Palms Resort, Kissimmee, Florida, for an unforgettable event entirely just for African-American families. Maxwell, Morris Day and the Time, Cameo featuring Larry Blackman, 7th Streeter, and TV stars from Living Single, Family Matters, and What's Happening. Make plans and have the family vacay you've always wanted. Don't miss your chance. Call the Gaylord today, 407-248-9191 to book.
I'll just say yes. You lead the way. I'm not afraid of what it means for me to say that this life you gave is not my own. I'm trusting you to hear my yes and lead me on. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. My life is yours. I'll just say yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. This life you gave is not my own.
up weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. to Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell on Spirit 1400.
Strikes against you, trapped in poverty, generations of injustice and inequality. Ancestors changed the world, and though they came and changed,